What's up, guys? It's Benny. If you really want a black pill on the Jeffrey Epstein saga, then look no further than the actual photo evidence of his cell. This is all you need, really. Because remember, Jeffrey Epstein was on suicide watch, and I thought that meant a padded room, right? Straitjacket? No, turns out this meant unlimited linens, being by himself in an unmonitored room with no cameras, where he got unlimited medical supplies and pill bottles, as you can see everywhere, and unlimited linens in order to fashion nooses for himself, as you can see right here. Look at that. Here's where Jeffrey Epstein hung himself. Wow. Boy, it looks like he was a real craftsman there with that noose. Boy, how could you hang yourself off of a 4-foot tall bunk? Jeffrey Epstein, not a tall man, but not like exactly, he's taller than 4 feet tall. Taller than this little stair step. But still he was able to break his neck. Broken bones in his neck. Look at that. He was able to break his neck bones. He was so successful in hanging himself. This is what he broke right there. Wow. It would take a lot of effort to do that. Oh, even CBS News is saying that this is more consistent with strangulation than it would be hanging, because it's really hard to break your own bones. I mean, even a committed sociopath would have a tough time doing that, and Jeffrey Epstein was not in great shape. You ever checked in on the ex-convicted cop killer? The convicted strangler who was Jeffrey Epstein's cellmate? Yeah, totally. Got it. A lot of people just have called bullshit on this for such a long time. Tucker Carlson is one of them. Tucker Carlson has had on probably more than any single individual alive experts who explain how it is impossible to break your own neck bones, how this couldn't have happened, and just the physical evidence. You just don't have to believe anything particularly miraculous. It's just the physical evidence alone doesn't lead to the conclusion that Jeffrey Epstein hung himself. Of course, there are plenty of other strange things that happened there. Remember, the FBI said, we released all the footage. No, you haven't. Tucker Carlson speaking about Jeffrey Epstein for the first time in quite a while on Theo Von's podcast today. I encourage you to go over to Theo Von's channel and watch the whole thing. Obviously, a legend in the space, and you should be following Theo Von. But Tucker making a couple of pretty obvious and very strong inclinations that, of course, are being lied to right now. And he's done more research than most on this issue. Let's go.
And the Epstein thing, you know, I've never understood what the justification for keeping that information secret. Epstein was murdered in prison, okay? I know a lot about it. I'm not just throwing that out there. Epstein was murdered in prison.
Well, they put him with a cellmate that was kind of a crazy, like, former police officer, right?
Yeah, a former police officer killed a number of drug dealers. I'm not saying that guy did it, but I'm saying, well, I asked Bureau of Prisons.
Theo Von knows more.
Because I learned all this stuff about it, because I know Epstein's brother, Mark, well. And I never expected to go down this rabbit hole at all. The guy called me like a week after his brother was killed.
Mark did?
Yeah. And so, yeah, I was literally sitting in my backyard in Maine, and he called me, and I don't know how he got my cell. And it ended up this years-long thing. It's not interesting, and I won't bore you with it, but the bottom line is Jeff Epstein was murdered in federal lockup in Manhattan in the secure unit. I think there were only 16 men on the unit, and I think only 14 there that night. I may have that slightly wrong, but it's very small, and it's the most secure federal lockup in the United States, and he got murdered in it. So that raises all kinds of obvious questions, like who has the power to do that? So that's a big deal. And then the attorney general at the time helped cover it up. And I know him. And Bill Barr. So I say that, and he's like, oh, I'm going to sue you. And I said, go ahead and sue me. I hope you will. And what's the answer? Like, why don't you answer? He never will. Well, it turns out, and this does make you crazy, that his father, Donald Barr, is the guy who started Epstein's career, who both gave him his first job, for which he was not qualified, and then got him his second job at Bear Stearns, for which he was definitely unqualified. What is that? Former CIA guy, OSS guy. But anyway, the point is that question of how an American citizen kid toucher or not, could get murdered in federal lockup in our biggest city. Like, holy shit, that should scare everybody. And then the Attorney General of the United States is covering it up. He admitted, this is the Attorney General, when Epstein was murdered, said, I told everyone around me, we need to make sure the country believes this was a suicide. It's like, you haven't even done a freaking investigation. You're the chief law enforcement officer, and you're telling me the outcome before you even look into it?
How do you know that?
Because he admitted it in his autobiography. And so I'm not guessing at any of this stuff, okay? So
Infuriating. The op of Epstein and the damage that has been done to the Trump administration in what I believe is a critical mishandling of all of this is incalculable. You really can track the Trump administration releasing that little stupid document saying, we've investigated and there's nothing else here, right? After telling us there's something else here for months, or there's like stacks of files on my desk, and then like releasing some little pithy thing on the 4th of July weekend. Oh, it's just so dumb. It's so bad. So Tucker's not letting it go. Obviously, neither will we. Here's Tucker Carlson on his own investigation.
call Bureau of Prisons, and I'm like, I want the names of the inmates who are serving on this block, because clearly nobody got in or out of the block. It's
Right. Well, it also was a question to our prison system. It's like, how would you not know? Like, obviously, this is the guy you have to protect.
they did it on purpose, and he was murdered clearly by another inmate. And there is so much. I mean, I did like an hour on this. Anyone interested can look it up, but I'm not a conspiracy nut at all. I've been a journalist my whole life. I've often been wrong, but I've always been attentive to what I believe the facts to be. I think it really matters whether you're accurate. And I've tried to be. So it was not a perfect storm of screw-ups. They never did the investigation into how this guy died. They redressed him in clothes that he wasn't wearing when he died for pictures in the hospital infirmary. All the records of what happened to his body are gone. And critically, we cannot get, and I tried directly by calling the Attorney General's office, I want a list of the names of the inmates. It's publicly available. They're convicted felons, dude. Yeah. This is not secret information. It's not national security information. Why can't you tell me that? They allowed him to be murdered in federal lockup. So leave all the pedo island stuff out of it. And just ask yourself, how can we continue to live in a country where a high-profile inmate can be murdered in our prison system by who's powerful enough to do that?
Right.
And so these are not only legitimate questions, they're essential questions. And like, we're mad at the people asking them.
That's the weirdest thing.
F you.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm trying to get,
no, that's one of the.
F you. Exactly right. The trust deficit is the biggest thing that the Trump administration has got to overcome. And I just need to be very clear. I'm not totally satisfied. I'm just not satisfied. I'm just a big fan of the administration, but like, I'm just not satisfied with the work that's been done in order to overcome the trust deficit. It is a massive trust deficit that they inherited, obviously. Didn't break it, but they own it. And got to be fixed. The Epstein saga proves it. Tucker Carlson, in closing here, I think is a great little bit on like the fake world that we all live in, and how he like Jeffrey Epstein was an op, but really he was just like a monster under the bed. It's very unimpressive, and it's better to center your life around family and faith.
Punch through. I can tell that you're like in a stage that I was literally last week. And then you get through it and you're like, it's okay. It's totally okay. I was an idiot for believing that stuff in the first place. It's my fault, actually. If I fell for read his Jeffrey Epstein's emails and you will realize if I fell for the idea that he was a diabolical mastermind and not just some thug from Staten Island or Coney Island, that was on me. Then you break through and you're like, of course it's fake. It was never real. You really think that with the world at stake, 3 zip codes in Pennsylvania are choosing the president? Okay, yeah. All right now. So no, of course it's fake. Shame on me for believing it. But now, all the things that are real, God, people you love, the truth, it's like there's so much to be happy about, actually. They want you to be totally freaked out. They are the ones who wrote this horror movie.
Right.
Like, bang, what was that noise? Holy shit, is there something under the bed?
Yeah.
And you look under the bed and you realize, yeah, it's actually, there are tons of monsters under the bed. But they're kind of like lame monsters. They're like Jeffrey Epstein monsters. They're like not that scary, really. I'm not afraid of you, bitch. And then the second you say that, you're like, oh, I'm not afraid of anything, actually. Like, look under the bed. Yes, there are monsters. No, they probably can't kill you unless you bitch out and let them.
Yeah.
Great life advice there. From America's father. It's your boy Betty. Like, share, subscribe. Release the Epstein files.